And welcome everybody to Rick Snider's Washington, where you get the whole story. So please like, share, subscribe, and comment. What are we doing on Sunday morning? Will anybody show up here all of a sudden? I don't know, but I figured, hey, you're wired from last night. I'm still wired from last night as the Washington Commanders advanced to the NFC Championship game. So I thought, hey, let's talk for half an hour or so, and then I've got to get back to working on the other stuff and just see if anybody shows up. So while nobody's here, I'll do a commercial. What the heck? If you'd like to get 100 things Commanders fans should know and do before they die, like attend the Super Bowl, maybe it's 95% Redskins stuff. $20 signed, sealed, delivered to you. You can go to my website, ricksniderswashington.com for details, or you can Venmo me or anything else here. Let's see. Let's do that. Make sure you spell Snider right. Oh, there. There you go. Alexander, you're first in. Although you tried to say something and you didn't, but that's okay. I don't expect that many people to be here because I never do this on Sunday mornings. But since the game played last night, why not? Hey, Alexander, thanks for coming. I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, man, I forgot to take out the trash cans. What's this show on TV? Where's the inaugural car? I'm thinking it's Monday because, it's always play Sundays. And I thought, wait a minute, it's not Monday, it's Sunday. Whew, that's how crazy last night was. I'm still crazy this morning. Hey, fit after 50, yeah. This was the biggest win for this team since 1991 when they won the NFL Super Bowl. And I covered that game, and that was the third Super Bowl win in 9 years, I think. And just, it was sort of like, I thought, hey, this is going forever. And then it all went away. And then it all got bad. And finally, things are good. Now, listen, I thought this year maybe they could win 9 games if everything went right. What are we up to now? 14? I mean, this is just unbelievable. Oh, thanks, Ace. I mean, I was planning, probably to retire at the end of the year, but I tell you what, I'm not now. Nah. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. So, another year, and then we'll see where I am at that point. I ain't going to live forever. But I've said I'm going to cut back a little bit on coverage. I probably will. But I got some projects coming up. But including on Sunday mornings, since you guys are here on Sunday mornings, I'll show you an advance preview of something. Where is it? Here it is. It's on my phone. But this show will be coming very soon. 10 minutes, one question, and you still got to go to church. But we got some really cool stuff coming up. It's in production now, and we'll be doing it soon. So I got that, and got a new cookbook coming out in the spring, and all these kind of stuff. Love this. I saw this one, by the way, on the air. It says, I'm a writer. Anything you say or do may be in a story. I really love that because that's my whole life's credence. Anyway, all right. The curse of Snider's lifted. That's right, M. Kim. Age 19. Wow, and you're watching me. You're like the only person under 25, according to my analytics, that watches me. So thanks. Tell your friends. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you definitely have never seen a team like this in 19. You got to be, 40 to even kind of remember it. I mean, my buddy Matt on our podcast, The Seasons of Discontent, Matt's, I think, 42, and he barely remembers the last Super Bowl win. Jamaican bobsledders in it. Thanks. Maybe where's some of my friends from Europe that always complain I do the show too late for them to watch. Here you are. You guys, what is it in Europe? Probably at 1, 2 o'clock. You haven't had high tea yet. Come on in. Gospel of Mark. Oh, that's a good one. Born in 82. So, okay. But yeah, you were a kid, though. I had friends some of my friends were, I tell you, I thought I'd go live because I'm getting so many texts from so many of my friends. Some people I haven't heard from in a while saying, hey. So I thought, well, let's just do it together. See, there you go. There's another one texting me on there. I mean, last night, I usually don't like to text with people a lot when I'm doing the game because I'm working. I had a running conversation with 6 different people while I'm trying to cover the game. because these are my old friends, and I don't want to blow them off. But that was a heck of a game. I mean, I first thought Detroit would win. I picked Detroit early in the week, and then by Sunday morning, I said, you know what? Why not? This team, I think, definitely in +9. I was sitting there thinking at one point, yeah, I'm up 20 points against the spread. I like my chances. I don't bet anymore. I mostly bet just horse racing when I can. Pretty rare. I don't have any money left anymore. So that's why. If you'd like that, the dollar sign as part of the congratulations of celebrations or whatever we call it, fire away. If you'd like to buy a book, because you're in a good mood because they've done so well, and now the Commander's name isn't quite as bad, is it? Anyway, I have it up in the comments up high. $20, signed, sealed, delivered. You can do it. Here, I'll put it in again for you. And if you don't want to do anything, we just hit the thumbs up button right up here. That's cool too. Today is a fun day. The Legend of Jaden just beginning. Gospel Mark, you got it right. I mean, really, Jaden's going to be Sonny Jurgensen in Washington's eyes. I like how all the national people come around in the last week or so to say, well, they're not a bad team, but they're going to lose to Detroit, so we're not going to really focus on it. Well, focus on it. They play Philly or Rams. Who you guys want? I mean, in my mind, I know you'd like Philly because that's a rivalry, and you can just make them eat it for the rest of their lives when you go, yeah, kicked your butt in the NFC Championship. Like the Dallas games. You can't have Dallas, sorry, but those 2 Dallas wins, way back, everybody still talks about those games. So you'd like to do that to the Eagles. That would be kind of cool. And it's a close game, and if you want to try and buy tickets, you can afford the scalpers prices versus paying an airline to go to L.A., and do, scalpers prices. But, either one, I think their chances are pretty equal against either. I think they'll beat either. I think they're going to the Super Bowl. Team of Destiny, I don't know, but they're playing as well as anybody. They've won 7 straight now. I mean, there's no mountain high enough anymore for them to fight, worry about. This team is crazy good. I knew they had something special with some things in the summer camps and watching Jaden. The thing I liked about Jaden in the off-season camps coming up to the season is I never saw the ball on the ground. It was always completions. Never saw the ball on the ground. You didn't see him run much around on the field back then, like you see him in games here. But that was one thing I really liked. I liked Ertz's intensity. He's like Brian Mitchell. I mean, just in simple drills, when Ertz would beat people on a touchdown, he would just scream at them, you gotta love that. That's what wins wars, much less games. And Eckler, I thought, was just a really nice player. And they showed away Bobby Wagner, too. And the great thing about these new veterans here is they allow Jaden to be Jaden. Thank you, Jamaican Bobsled. I appreciate it. Jaden's a very chill kind of person, very confident in himself. But he's not the guy necessarily who's going to pick up the sword and say, follow me. And because he has these vets doing that, he doesn't have to do that. He can just be himself. Doesn't have to be somebody else. That was something Robert Griffin really kind of struggled with on there. And most rookie quarterbacks would, be honest. And so the chemistry of all this was just amazing. One of the other things, the team of rivals that Dan Quinn assembled as coaches. The team of rivals was a famous saying about Abraham Lincoln. He beat 4 guys in a Republican primary that all hated his guts, to get to be president. Then he appointed those 4 guys to cabinet figures. And by the end of his tenure, when he died, those 4 guys were as committed to him as anybody. Well, that's what Quinn has done. He got a lot of guys he never coached with, but knew they were good and wasn't afraid to hire other ex-head coaches. That was a hell of a move. Peters did some magic in some of these signings on it all. I mean, there's so many people that you look at. I've got friends that are already saying, hey, man, write a book. I thought, I was thinking about that this past week. If I wished I'd paid more thought to a book. I just didn't think it would come to this. And you guys don't buy books very much, So it's a lot of time for not a lot of money, and I'm trying to save my time for life at 60, turning 65. So I'm going to think about it. Would you pay $100? No, I'm kidding. $100. Who pays $100? People pay like $40 now for hardcovers. That's insane. But that's money. It's insane anymore. That's why this is only $20 if you want to buy one. So we'll see. I'll see about it. I have other things I want to do. I want to do the cookbook this spring. I've got my 52 questions for God coming up. If you have a question you want us to ask God, I don't have a direct number. If we are going to ask them, feel free to email me at monumentalthoughts@gmail.com. Also, as long as I plug Rick Snider's Washington is now.com, you can go there to see a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. And I would appreciate it. This is how you support us. Keep going. Hank, can this team win it all? Hank, it's going to win it all. I mean, it's at least going to get to the Super Bowl. And then it'll suck if they lose. I don't know. We'll see. Who can beat them at this point? They're the hot team. I think they're better than Kansas City. Baltimore, we'll see if Baltimore beats Buffalo today. Baltimore's awfully good. I thought Baltimore was the best team I saw Washington play this season. I didn't see them play a couple other contenders, but Baltimore's tough. But they're all tough, you know. But who would bet against this team at this point? You'd be losing your money. Yeah, Bob backs me on the B. Mitch analogy. Yeah, Tim, glad you could come in. I'm going to keep you away from church yet, right? Still early. You were praying enough last night. That should be enough. I once had an aunt pass away. We had to do a high mass the day before Easter and bury her and all that. And we kind of joked to the priest, said, hey, don't have to come tomorrow, right? He goes, oh, yes, you do. Tomorrow's Easter. This doesn't count. I'm like, dude, we're here an hour and a half. We had to go back the next day. All right. Tim, team's not only winning, it's classy again. Absolutely. And thank you for the comment. I mean, what don't you like about this team? There's been no scandals. There's been no bad things happen, which is really weird for me because I've spent 30 years covering the circus, and to cover a regular football team was getting kind of boring. But then they got really good. So it's really been a real head swivel for me to kind of like, wow, what's going on? I'm used to something bad happening. You know, I don't make the news. I just write about it. Do I think Ben Johnson's regretting those basketball guys? Yeah, DMV. That's a good one. Yeah, that guy, I guess you've seen it on Twitter too, that the guy, the Detroit talk show guy who just badmouthed Washington, and oh my God. And I was like, man, you got to eat crow. But I know these kind of guys, they don't think twice about what they say. Can we sign a kicker this week? Well, you can, Silent Al. You won't. I will say this, Gonzalez has a weird stance because most guys are sort of like this toward the ball, and he's like this when he's waiting to kick. And more of a straight-on kicker kind of stance. I've noticed that. It's kind of makes me think, you're not standing right, but it's worked for him. Yeah. That guy who missed the extra point, in the Houston game, I had plus 8.5. They lost by 9. Thanks. That was crazy, wasn't it? Roost, $5.99. The organization's on fire. This has to be a lock in stadium deal. I will say that Harris has got a horseshoe up his pocket too there because everybody now wants this team. They wanted them before. DC and Maryland wanted them before, but now you got to have them. Now with the winning, you got to have them. And with that, if they can sustain success, then you're going to pay a lot extra money for tickets when they go there. So this has been a big deal. So it definitely helps push RFK. And for RFK thing, I brought something over. This is hanging in my closet. I've only worn it once, but I thought I'd let you see it. I got this. There you go. Okay, I can't handle things up there. I got this the night before RFK closed, and the team was giving them away to people at a big party. And there's RFK. I've only worn it once. They get to the Super Bowl, maybe I'll wear it again. I still fit. Actually, I'm a lot smaller. I weighed about 50 pounds heavier back then. So I've only worn it once. I always thought about selling it at auction, but no, I don't think so. I don't have much memorabilia. That and a couple other things. I have one jersey that someone gave me a couple of years ago, Mark Mosley jersey, who was my favorite player. One of my favorite players. Sonny's my favorite player. I got a lot of favorite players. But, you can't sell your stuff. I have my baseball cards if anybody wants to make a blind bid for them. 70s. Callan. All right. Fan in England. There you go. So, yeah, the next game is on earlier. Thank goodness. 1:00. It will be an afternoon game. Thank you, Lord. These night games when I get to bed at 2 in the morning are a little harder as you get older, but harder on those poor beat writers who basically don't get to sleep. When you guys hate on the beat writers, know these guys don't get much sleep on things like this, and they still crank out content for you. So Justin is 29 and can hit a field goal 100% from anywhere inside the 45. Well, Justin, I loved kicking field goals too when I was younger because I liked Mosley so much. The last time I tried to kick one was a 50 when they did the public training camp in 2000, and they had the NFL experience, and I went wide left, but I did have the distance. So when you're a big guy, your legs tend to be stronger because you got to carry all that weight around. Alexander, can't believe how much it's turned around this fast. Who could see this coming? I mean, it's a record. The most wins this team ever did over another season was 6. And what are they now? Plus 10? Yeah, plus 10. Crazy. They've got 9, late wins. I mean, I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know what it is, but karma, something's coming back. Bob, love the fact that Jaden, Bobby, and others are not afraid to share their faith. That's true. Yeah, they're all, especially Jaden, really talked about God at times. And that's great. I mean, I think we all have our own relationship with God. I do. And I don't criticize anyone who has a different version. I just think we're all praying the same God anyway, just no matter what you call him. All right. By the way, tomorrow's the inaugural in D.C. I don't think anybody's going to be talking about the inaugural. We're getting 2 to 4 inches of snow, which of course drives Washingtonians nuts. And the inaugural, and then the national championship games tomorrow night in college. Yeah, I guess we'll give the inaugural a passing nod. And then it's going to be so cold here tomorrow. In case you didn't hear, they're going to move it inside. And I kind of felt bad. I said, how many people have been working for like 3 months to build the inaugural stand, the reviewing stands along the parade route? They put 100,000 chairs on the National Mall for nothing. The D.C. government spent $1.5 million building this special box for a viewing stand. Never going to be used. Wow. I feel bad for all those people putting in that work. Whether you like the guy or not going in, I'm just talking about the poor people that were hammering nails. By the way, I found out they built a huge review stand, for all this at the Capitol. That lumber all goes to Habitat for Humanity when it comes out. So something good will come from it. Is Cosby done? Don't know yet. Have not heard the update. Haven't got an update yet from the team either if coach is talking today or not. So I don't know about that. So we may know more today or if not, tomorrow. PH, appears De'Ami Brown has locked down the number 2 spot. Yeah, well, he's going to be a free agent. And I said, if anybody's made some money in the last week, it's De'Ami Brown. This dude, went from, it'd be nice to sign him to, you need this guy. And if they don't want him, somebody else will go for him. So De'Ami Brown made himself a few $1 million in the past week. Good for him. He's been trying. I always thought De'Ami Brown was better than he had, more production than he had. It was more about opportunities. And I mean, he didn't max out his opportunities, but he has a lot of potential. And people talk about his speed, but what he is really good at is catching after the ball and darting across the field. And I think he's better there. That's where Terry McLaurin is awesome. Terry McLaurin, people just don't notice, has great after catch speed in traffic. He's really good at that. So both of them are real positives there. Jordan, does the Zane miss at the end worry me? Well, not really. I mean, it's just kind of is what it is. I was surprised that De'Ami got run down, though, yesterday. That dude must be really fast to caught him. Drone Conical, Super Bowl win equals MVP. I don't know. Here's the hard part of that. Is Washington is so new to the national scene and the writers that they don't always want to jump on right away. I think next year they'll have a lot more Pro Bowlers than they had this year. Well, this year you only had 3 that were second team. It takes a year to get the reputation throughout the league because a lot of writers who are on teams like me, you're watching your own game a lot. You don't get to watch a whole lot of other games, the night ones maybe, but you're too busy doing what you're doing to watch the other games as much. So it takes longer for that. Yeah, Patrick, inaugural. Yeah, actually, I got a piece coming out tonight and tomorrow about inaugural crowds and how big. I counted 27 inaugurals, researching through the years of papers on what the sizes were. So I'm going to have all that. It's a really cool little knick-knacky thing. Oh, MVP for regular season? No, they're going to go for Dr. Warren. They're going to go for Lamar, I think, or I think Lamar. And Lamar, listen, Lamar Jackson got, what was it, 42 touchdowns and 4 interceptions? That's insane. So I think he probably gets it. Although, if we're really, MVP voting should really be what they call Player of the Year because the guy had a great year. Not necessarily the most valuable player to his team. People don't look at it that way anymore. And they should, because if you're doing that, it's Jaden Daniels all day long. But people look at it more as a Player of the Year contest. So that's why I don't think he would get it. Lattimore did play better last night, Nolan. I noticed that too. I think he needed a game or two to get back. I mean, he's basically played so little in a few months. He needed some time to get his legs back under him, literally. Hank, if we make the Super Bowl, could Washington fans ever take the Superdome? Maybe. And here's something too. Last time, back in 1999, and that's a world of difference of time. But back then, before the NFC Championship game, Redskins had a lottery because they only get so many tickets, and they went to season ticket holders and did a lottery and said, "You've won the right to buy tickets if this team makes the Super Bowl." Now, this is before the NFC Championship. The ticket brokers went to these people and said, "I'll give you $1,000 for that right to buy the ticket. I'll give it to you right now, and if this team loses, you still get the $1,000. But if they win, it's now I get it, and it's now worth at least twice that to me." I don't know if they'll do that now. I really am curious. If you're a season ticket holder out there this week, let me know if you get that kind of letter. Maybe they don't do that anymore. I don't know how they do this. We haven't had to think about it in 30 years. But that's how it used to go. But, today's electronics, I don't know how this is all going to work. Something I'll ask Monday. Let's see. Nolan, is Noah Brown done for the year? Yeah. Vegas Jim, kudos to Trent Scott. Yes, who did play a decent game stepping in. He's definitely a better guard than a tackle. Burgundy Ghost, if LA wins today. Man, look how many people are on this thing. Wow, I'm surprised on a Sunday morning. I guess everybody's still wired and want to talk about it. I know I am. I just I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. And yet I went, so, I got 6 hours of sleep. Burgundy Ghost is in. All right, if LA wins, I don't know if it'll be in Arizona. I've been asked that. And, the fires, I guess, aren't they under kind of control now? They burned everything down already. So I don't know. I would think maybe that they would be able to play in LA. I know they sure try. I know if you're a fan, you would love to go to Phoenix instead of LA. A lot more direct flights, a lot easier to get there. Southwest, there's direct flights there all day long. I'm going to be in LA next month because I'm going to Hawaii on vacation. And for those of you who wonder, I booked my Hawaii trip in November, and I said, let's wait till 10 days after the Super Bowl, because this team might make the Super Bowl. I thought it would be my luck to book it. And then, so I thought, let's do 10 days after. I'll be done with things by then, and I can go away for a couple of weeks. So I'm not saying I predicted it. I just hedged my bet on that one. Okay, Patrick, why are you referring to it as an inaugural when everybody else calls it the inauguration? Well, it's both. The inaugural is the inauguration. What are you, an English teacher? Go away. There's always somebody who wants to ruin your vibe, Llewellyn, DQ is coach of the year. I absolutely agree with that. Bob, got to run. Have a great day. Bob, come on, Bob. What, you got life? Whatever. I'm kidding you, Bob. Redskins, no update on Cosme yet. I don't know if coach is talking today or not. Have not received any emails. The team came home. I'm betting they probably got home about 5 a.m. So you get off that plane. They talk about it because there's no sleeping on a plane. Trust me on that. Not on a team plane like that. No. You'll wake up. Brett Conway did it once. Woke up, didn't know it. Christmas Day, they came back from a flight out west. Just drove to his girlfriend's house. Merry Christmas, opens the door, and they're looking at him, and his whole face has been marked up by these guys while he was asleep, and he hadn't noticed, and he looked like something out of Cats, and he paid him back later. It's all in the book, by the way, and you can get this on, you can get it on Amazon too, but it won't be signed. So if you want $20, these kind of stories are always in there. Here's the thing. So, the PR staff and all, they're a little slow getting stuff out because they might want to catch a few hours of sleep. So we'll know a little more later. Wow, look at somebody who's such a hater. Too bad for you, hater. See ya. I like Drake. I liked JD. When I said Drake, I was kind of guessing what they would pick, not what I would pick. So there's somebody cursing at me already. Man, some of you live sad lives, man. Go live them somewhere else. Was Mikey Sanders still the steal of this year's draft? Probably, Hank. I mean, when you think about it, you say JD's first round pick. Sanders still has had a solid year. Won a Rookie of the Week award, so pretty good. Dr. Wonderful, AP will have some tough decisions to make. Yeah, he's got 23 free agents on this roster to figure out which ones do you keep. Can't keep them all, but I think he'll do fine. They've got a lot of money, so they can do that. It's not like you're against the cap and you got to make hard cuts. Mike, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. All right. What's the cookbook going to be about? Alexander. Let's see. Well, I'm recreating my old book because I got the rights back. And it's going to be it's going to be more secrets of caveman cooking. I'm going to update. There's a lot of new technology since I wrote this in 2020. Somebody gave me a cooking thermometer as a gift. It was $160. That thing's a Bluetooth, comes to my phone, things like that. I got a Blackstone grill I just bought. I got to put it together. I'm not saying there's any kind of new meats, but I'm going to do some new things. So part of this will be in the book and part of a thing. After 7 years after you write a book, declared out of print, you get the rights. So I just thought, let's do a new cookbook. So I don't do board well. Sam I am. Woo, cats in the hats in the house. Cliff did an Amazon job spreading the offense out and using the read option. Yeah, they got the edge back a little more than they've had in the last 2-3 games. And that helps Jaden tremendously. Robert, Sanders still end zone pick is the best play by corner since Green and Bailey. Well, okay, I'll take your word for it. I'd have to think about that, but you may be right. Let's see. Zin's World, Hale, there you go. It was an amazing game. Hit the thumbs up button, by the way, before you guys leave. That makes the algorithm happy, which makes me happy because they send people to me. Bernie goes, you got to think De'Ami Brown will be re-signed, and maybe he will, but you never know what somebody will offer crazy money for. It does happen. I've seen players have to leave here because they were offered so much more money. And, at the end of the day, as a ball player, that's what you got to think about too. If things are even, you can weigh where you like. But I remember an offer for a guard a few years ago. It's like several millions more. He had to go take it. Robert, Daniel should be MVP. As I was talking about a minute ago, most valuable player, yes, but unfortunately, player of the year is what people really how they vote for MVP. But they had Lamar and the Bills quarterback. They all have great teams anyway. It's like coach of the year, talking about Detroit Lions guy. He had a ready-made great team entering the year. So Dan Quinn had nothing. They flipped this roster about 80%. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I something made me laugh this morning. I thought, do they have to send Ron Rivera a Super Bowl ring? You remember when Ron Rivera said, next year, send me my Super Bowl ring, and we all laughed? Could he get one? That would be the funniest thing in the world. I'd love seeing Ron Rivera sitting there wearing a Super Bowl ring from this team. That would be the most amazing thing since I've seen Joe Gibbs come back to coach. But here we go. He did pick Quan Martin. He picked a handful of guys. Unfortunately, you need more than a handful of guys. Sam, I am. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you coming. I know Sunday morning you got things to do. I'm surprised we have this many people. One game away from the Super Bowl, Grant. I think they'll win it, whoever they play. It's one of those things now. They're just hitting full bore. This offense is unstoppable. And the defense gave up a lot of points yesterday, but I still think they played well despite it. And against a very good team. When are they going to ask the RFK deal, Alexander? I don't know. It's a while. It's a while. I mean, the team doesn't have technically, even though they've been given control and it's been signed, it's going to take, they say, up to 6 months to transfer everything. So I'm not sure you can cut a deal if you don't have that done yet. Because who knows, a new president might have some idea of changing that deal. I don't know. So I think this year, but probably later, maybe around the beginning of the season. Do you think they go to Madrid? Is it Madrid for the foreign game? I bet they go now to play Miami. Now that they're a Premier League team, they haven't been abroad in a while. I bet they go to Madrid. That'll be an awesome road game. I've never been to Spain, but I've always heard so much. Jack Del Rio went to Paris. Zins, yeah. Hey, listen, if Jack wants to just coach football at a club level, which is what this is, I've read stories from people who played abroad in these kind of leagues and really loved it as a life experience. So if he wants to go do that, go do it. I thought he was 100% American, but you can be 100% American in Paris, I guess. I'll be in Paris later this year, so maybe I can go by and ask him. My God, he sees me, he'll turn blank. Probably. Let's see. Robert Rivera qualified. His state of 40 of 53 were his players. Well, they were entering, off-season camps. So I don't know. They ought to give him a ring just for the irony of the whole thing. Mike, you hope everybody wants to come back. Hey, winning always makes people want to come back, but you still got to want to have the money out there. Burgundy Ghost, and give Ron a ring from the 25-cent toy machines. That's pretty good, except now I think they're 50 cents. But I'll pitch in the quarter for you. What the heck? PH, I agree with you. They can beat Philly or LA. Why not? Who can't they beat at this point? Everybody thought Detroit was the best team of those out there, and they clocked them good. I got a friend who's a big Detroit Lions fan, talking all kind of smack on Facebook. I went on my video yesterday. I specifically called her out and said, your team's going down. I haven't heard from her at all today. I have to send her a note and ask, are you okay? I mean, it's only a game. All right. Keith, B-Rob had a good game. I mean, he kind of fools me. Sometimes he doesn't do well, and sometimes he does. I think it's his health is part of that we don't always, and part of it's the offensive line's got to block for him. Alexander, if Philly wins, it'll be a crazy game with Washington. When's the last time they played each other in the playoffs? I don't know. I mean, maybe did it happen back in the 30s, 40s or something? I'll have to look that up today. If Philly wins, I'll look it up and find out. Nothing recent years. No, shout out to my beautiful wife, Shelby. She puts up with the roller coaster of emotions. Yeah, I know. I know how it goes. My wife actually sat down and watched. She turned off. She turned off her Hallmark Saturday night movie and came and watched the game. I said, well, don't worry. Those two kids in the Hallmark movie, it's going to look rough till the last 5 minutes, and then it'll work out. And she sat and watched this game with me, and I thought, man, hell has frozen over when you turn off a Hallmark movie to come watch football. She's into it this year. I'm going to have to make her wear my Mosley jersey next game. And I always have a Super Bowl party for a lot of people. Do I do it anyway? I mean, I don't travel because no one pays me. And that's an expensive trip. I've done the New Orleans Super Bowl. A lot of fun. You can walk everywhere. Watch out for those hand grenades on Bourbon Street, all I'll say. But I guess I'll have everybody over. I don't know. We'll enjoy it. Remember when a couple years ago, everybody wrote, or even last year, when do you think any Washington team's going to win a championship again? And we thought, God, I don't know. I mean, I said Washington just because I thought it ain't the Nats. And, but look at the Caps are doing great. And it's not the Wizards. I mean, if the Wizards start winning big time, the universe is flipped. Favorite Super Bowl snack? I try to watch my weight anymore, the wellness. I don't sit there and eat a lot of this stuff anymore. But I like wings. Maybe that's it. That's protein, right? Wings aren't bad for you. That's protein. Commanders don't care who they play. True. It's just anytime, anywhere, any place, or something they say. Whatever it's called. John, ask about Cosme. I don't mind answering questions again because most people watch this show like for 10, 15 minutes and flip. So new people come and go. And this is unusual. I've never done a Sunday morning show. So, but since they don't hardly ever play Saturdays. And I am going to do the Monday night show as usual. So if you're watching, if you're one of those people, I will be back tomorrow night. 1990, last game at Philly. Okay, there you go. Thanks, Frank. See, that's 1990, so long ago. I forgot. That's 35 years ago. So that's the last time Washington played Philly in there. And the Skins won. Okay, I'm glad you said that because I was trying to think who won. After the body bag game. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that game. Zins, no official statement on Cosby's knee. True. And Cosby's tough. Listen, unless it's really bad, Cosby will play. Offensive linemen, man, they just live on pain. They can do whatever. Those are the guys that are going to be there to the last battle. But I agree, Zins. Trent Scott did play better. But you do want Cosby there as your leader. This offensive line, man, these guys aren't Pro Bowlers necessarily, but they play well together, and they're a tough bunch. Yeah. Well, let's see. Air fried wings, huh? You know, Costco has a great deal on wings, but I just don't like how they taste. I eat the chicken a lot. There's one in my refrigerator now. $5 for a whole chicken. But their wings they give you plenty of wings. It's good value, but let's see. No, I don't like chicken thighs. Zins. No. Not as much of a dark meat eater. That's a whole different fight, huh? I am going to have a video coming up. Chaptica Market down in Southern Maryland. Some of you will know about it. Makes the best chicken. But a Royal Farms opened down the street from me last week. And my friends are like, I think it's not Royal. Royal Farms is good, but it's not as good as Chaptica Market. But I'll do a blind taste test coming up. When I got a chance to breathe, covering these football things take a lot of time. That's an off-season thing. Llewellyn, Daniels is having the best rookie year in history. Yeah, they used to talk about Marino, but I think this is better than Marino's year with Miami. Eric, thanks for coming on. Hey, I said I'd do this till 10, but we'll go a little later because a lot of people are like, hey, what are you doing on? JD5 could be the first rookie quarterback in a Super Bowl. Zins. Is anybody a rookie now after playing 19 games? Ben? I mean, it's the great thing about whatever COVID and the NIL stuff has quarterbacks staying longer in college and more ready-made. That's a great thing, I think. And if you're making like some quarterback I was reading about, it's going to make $4 million. You might as well stay in college, have some fun. Do they still have to go to class? I wondered about that. If you're paying these kids under contract, is there a clause in there you still got to go to class and pretend to be at school? Yeah, that's crazy. See, the Jets just interviewed 7 more people for head coach. Jets, what are you doing, man? If you're interviewing everybody, you have nobody. It just looks like a clown show. All right. Let's see. Well, you guys talking about Chaptica Market. I did a video eating chicken at Chaptica Market, which is way down in Southern Maryland. They're known more for stuffed ham. But I sat in the parking lot. My wife filmed me eating a piece of chicken for a minute, and 104,000 people watched it. Y'all are crazy. That was one of the crazy moments. But you never know. I know y'all love food. I'm going to do some more pizza stuff. James is happy. Yep. Everybody, listen, fans deserve this. They always talk about the Detroit fans. Washington hasn't done much since then either. The two of them played in 91. Neither of these teams have done a whole lot since. So it's not like the Lions fans have a monopoly on misery. And they didn't even have crazy owners. They had respectable people like the Ford family, who I got to meet. Met William Ford. He was the grandson of Henry Ford. Classy person. Dan Snider meets William Ford first game. We're up there in Detroit. And he meets William Ford and he goes, what do you do for a living? And he goes, Ford, automobiles. Dan Snider blows them off and goes, bah, it's old technology, and walks away from them. I'm thinking, dude, the Ford family could buy 1,000 of you. And then they trashed the suite, and Detroit had to send him a bill for Snider trashing the suite because they lost. William Ford was a gentleman. They've had, at least the Lions haven't been a joke off the field. So I think Washington fans deserve this a little more. And for all those Lions fans that sold their tickets so they could use the money to go to the Super Bowl, I hope you enjoy watching Washington. All right, Mills, I'm enjoying this too much. I have to admit I'm having a lot more fun because I've just been hanging around. I remember the 80s. I covered the team in the 80s some, in 91. So I know what it was like, but man, that was like half a life ago. That was 10 years before I had my heart attack. Let's see, Mills, Cowboy fan, loves Dan Quinn's aggressiveness. I'll give him that, man. Those fourth downs scare me. But I guess they make enough that it's worth it. Washington stole a couple of your players. Yeah, and they made difference, Fowler and Armstrong. And Fowler had a hit like on the second play. That was bam. And Armstrong made a couple really great plays for them. Zins can get even more talent around JD in the offseason. I would agree with they have like 90 plus million in the cap. You don't spend it all like a drunken sailor on shore leave, but Peters, there's nothing to criticize with Peters so far. I mean, he's looking like a young Bobby Befford at this point. So, all right, I guess we should probably hang this up because we all have things to do. I don't know what I'm doing, but I know there's a pile for me to do. So, last time, in case anybody thinks you want to buy one, I'll put it in the mail Tuesday because tomorrow's a holiday. $20. I'll put it down here again. You can get it. Help support the show, or you can just hit the thanks button. But why hit the thanks button when you can get a book out of it? Up to you. Llewellyn was 10 watching that Super Bowl. It's funny because when I see people say their ages now, I know how old they must be now. I mean, you're born in 81, so you're 46 or something. All right. Most people watching me are in their nobody under 35 hardly watches me. Mike P. Well, okay, there's my cousin. I was going to text you later, but now I don't have to. The 82 team, I was thinking about it the other day. If I had to rank this team against past Super Bowl champs, 91, of course, is number one. The 82 would be number two. 83 lost the Super Bowl. It was a damn good team. I'd say this team would be better than the Strike Team 87 team. That team wasn't as easy as people remember. Although they had that great second quarter. Washington scored 28 in the second quarter yesterday. Hadn't done something like that since Super Bowl year. Zans, thanks for coming. Packers fans, Deshaun, thank you for knocking off the Lions. You're welcome. I know, man. Minnesota, Detroit, Green Bay, their fan bases hate each other. It's not something we've noticed in the East so much. But whatever. Sebastian's 30. Oh, poor Sebastian. Your best years are over, man. Hang it up. If by your 40s, you start having problems. By your 50s, you lose your teeth. So enjoy 30 at least. Was that me telling my medical history? Whatever. Let's see. I haven't looked at the box score too much yet, Zins. I glanced at it. One time I was wondering if Trusted played, but I think he did have 2 punts. I don't know about the OCD. I don't know much about OCD, really, to comment on that, Robert. Whatever works for him. Robert, you watched Super Bowl 17 on the telly. What are you, from England? We don't call it that. It's TV in America. All right. Any last words? Okay. All right. Anyway, Robert, where are you from? I want to hear this. So I will be on Monday night, 8 to 9 Eastern. Why not? This has been a lot of fun. Kind of got all of us, got a little bit of it out instead of running around, it's getting ready to snow in D.C. again. I got to go outside and salt the walks and all that jazz again. And got a lot to do. Go to ricksniderswashington.com, my website. Of course, we have videos up. I have them up later today and 6 a.m. every day. So, Uruguay. Okay. Sebastian's there from Uruguay. All right. We have quite a few international people watch, which thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, Americans too, for watching. This last year, Rick Snider's Washington did 11 million on views across social media because you can also see me on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram. Facebook if you're a friend of mine. I don't have many. I don't. Facebook pages for friends and family only. So 11 million of them. I'm shocked at how many people watch this show, and it's been great. It's the only reason I'm still around, really. I still write for. I'm writing for Yardbarker now because when a 6.7 laid me off at the end of the year, not the end of the season, and I kind of wondered, you think they regret losing their columnist for this? And I thought, no, it was a corporate decision. They only care about money. My money was so little, they wouldn't even worried about it, but they did. So, well, my grandson, yeah, he would like to he wants to be a YouTube guy. Well, we'll see. I told him, we'll see. He's got to be a little older. Robert, yeah, the Gibbs years. Yeah, I wasn't around as much, but I have a few stories. I saw Gibbs was at the game last night. So, great man. After the Sean Taylor death, Joe Gibbs was an inspiration for those final weeks of the season to everybody there. He lifted that whole building on his back. Meanwhile, his own grandson was having leukemia and he's thinking about leaving, and yet he still managed to inspire everybody around him. It was an amazing, amazing thing. More so than any of the other Super Bowl years, in my opinion. That's where it shined. What a great person and coach he was. Francis, it doesn't take a big splash signing to turn it around. Yeah, there you go. You just got to pick the right people. Chemistry is everything. People want me to write a book about this season, and if I do, it's going to be about the chemistry of how all this worked. I mean, you see how Bobby Wagner and JD, play with each other. You don't see stuff like that very often, not in the NFL. That would be a big part of what I wrote. I don't know. I haven't thought about it yet. Writing books is hard work. It's a lot of effort, not a lot of money anymore because you guys tweet out all the good parts. But we'll see. That's why I wrote this years ago when it was the Redskins fans. I don't have any more Redskins books. Publisher stupidly said, no, we're not going to do those anymore. Like, dude, that's what people want to buy. And they want to listen to me. Whatever. So I have Commander. But the book's 95%. We just updated like 5 chapters in the new book when I put it out a couple years ago. And let me just tell you this. If they go to the Super Bowl as Commanders, you won't see that Redskins name back. But you might see the logo come back, the Indian helmet thing, and would that be enough? I don't know on there. All right, man, what we do? We did almost an hour. Well, so many people here. Hit the thumbs up button for me before you go. Leonardo Navarro from Mexico. Okay. There you go. We have a lot of Spanish, speaking people who watch the games and they have alternate broadcasts and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. I worked in the Dominican and Puerto Rico for a while at times. And so it's interesting to see what they watch. They actually watch baseball. But it's kind of cool. All right. I got to be done. This. Hey, it's been great for doing this hour with you guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you Monday, 8 to 9 Eastern, if you want to do more. Why? I don't know, but okay. Why you guys watch me, I don't know, but that's fine. I do appreciate it so much. It helps to talk to fans. It's this technology. Rich Tamler taught me this. Embrace the fans, because the newspaper world where I'm from, you don't. You stay away from people. But now we're all media people, and you have to. Rich Tamler said he worked at a Panera. I gave him his first job in his business, writing for me for T Magazine, and then Rich worked hard and moved on to TV and did great. And unfortunately, died of a heart attack a few years ago. I carried his casket along with several other writers. But Rich taught me, and I haven't forgotten it. He said, listen, this is like people coming into my Panera. You got to treat them great. So that's what we do. So that's what I try to do, and remember that because you got other choices. I know you're watching Kime and Ben, and they do great jobs. I'm glad you're watching them too on this. And even Sam, I noticed out there is doing some video work now. So I guess I'm inspiring a young generation for something. Who knows? We got to get out of here. All right, guys, go to church or go have fun or go do something. We're all going to be watching the games. What time's the game? Today. So be watching that. Just having some fun for once. Isn't it nice? It's nice. All right. And for all you haters, whatever. I'm Rick Snider. Where's my bill? My grandson grabs it. There it is. Anyway, I'm Rick Snider for Rick Snider's Washington. Thank you all for coming. I'll see you again soon.